Welcome to Beyond the Box. Inside, outside, upside, downside, beyond the box.
Break it down.
Our guests are insiders, now on the outside and the right side, dropping truth and nuclear intel bombs and breaking it down just for you. And now it's time to meet your hosts and co-hosts. Your hosts of Beyond the Box are Brenda Lankarge and Suzanne Hott. Brenda Lankarge is host of Beyond the Box and retired law enforcement. Joined by Suzanne Hott, host of Beyond the Box, Joel's Indoor Arena and Event Center, and White Horse Productions. They are joined by Tom Althouse, Brian Sang, and Penny L.A. Shepard. Brian Sang, co-host Beyond the Box, is Full Disclosure Now Movement, fulldisclosuremovement.org. Tom Althouse, co-host Beyond the Box, is the real author of The Matrix, The Immortals, and The Matrix Redeemed. And Penny L.A. Shepard, executive producer and co-host of David Zublick's Awake Nation, The Dark Outpost, Patriot's Perspective, and Beyond the Box. This show is for entertainment purposes only.
Break it down.
Inside, outside, upside, downside, beyond the box. Beyond the Box begins now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Box. Today is May 10th, 2024, still dragging on that year. Tonight, we're going to have Jenny SICOX with us again, talk about some interesting things. And we got little Susie over here. What you doing, Susie?
Hey. Hey, you look great. You got your glasses on and not the patch this weekend.
You know, I decided to throw the patch away because in September, it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. So I didn't want to ruin it, jump ahead of time. And I figured if I put my glasses on, I might be able to see better. But I still can only see out of one eye. So if you see me turning like this, it's because I'm looking at something.
Okay.
That's so sad. So how was your day?
It was good. I was on, earlier with Dave and Penny on the Awake Nation, and then I was on the Dark Outpost. And I think it was pretty interesting, and
Right?
had a really good show this morning. And Dave came up with something so funny. They came up with the name Captain Awake.
Yeah.
It's going to be Dave's kind of nickname. And I thought that was kind of funny. Captain Awake.
Right.
Since Captain Underpants is already taken, you can't.
Well, Captain Underpants, I don't think is a very good thing. So we'll just leave it at that.
Right. Or Captain Hot Dog, right?
Right. So you want to go ahead and do your thing, Susie, and we'll get us started.
Okay. So I just I ask the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit and the Mother Universe that works with the Mother, the Father, the Son, and all the angels and all the hosts of heaven and all the saints, everybody, that we all come together and do good and love God, and we all have a good life, and that we win this battle and we step into that future of the kingdom of God.
Yes.
And I just ask for a covering, a hedge of protection around us this evening, and that we will learn something, that God will reveal some things to us all. We will all come out a little bit wiser tonight in Jesus' mighty name.
That's right. Jesus' name. And that's what it's all about, is togetherness. So let me get us all together. I will bring out our co-hostess that does the mostest, Penny L.A. Shepard.
Good evening, everyone. I just posted our show on X, and we have the illustrious Jenny SICOX with us, and she's also going to be discussing. There was a post that was sent out, and I sent it pretty much to everyone regarding possible geo-electromagnetic storms. And since her address is Ms. Electromagnetic and that is her specialty, she will be speaking to us about that. It's very, very prevalent. And also, you had an unusual event at your place. You had hail outside.
Oh my gosh! Yes, I was.
No.
Yeah, I was getting ready to leave the house to go to the store, and nothing in the radar, nothing outside, and sun on one side. And I opened the door and it starts hailing. And I said, "Oh, that's God's way of saying, do not leave the house today." And I shut the door. That was it.
Door, but hail no.
I say, Hail Mary.
And our next co-host is Tom Althouse. And I have something to tell Tom what happened to me too.
All right. Well, let's bring out our handsome and intelligent Mr. Tom Althouse.
Put me in. Put me in.
Put me in, Coach. Tom, the other day, I was trying to make one of my videos louder, and I had put into the program the cut from the Matrix that we use in our segment. Okay, so I couldn't get it out. All right. I put in another video, which is supposed to replace that. And every time I hit the next video, it loaded the Matrix. It happened like 6 times. So finally, I deleted the app, re-downloaded it, went back to that folder to try and input the new sound video that I was going to elaborate, enhance, and the Matrix showed up. Over and over and over. And I was like, what the H? So I finally deleted it again. And then I was going to look for another. I was like, well, that app's dust now. And so I found another one. It was the same name, but it was Pro, which I had Pro. And I looked for an update. There was no update. I restarted my computer. And this time the Matrix finally went away, but I was caught in the Matrix.
Yes, you were.
I think you were glitching.
I was glitching in the Matrix.
Yes. Oh, there's so much going on. Very, very unhappy other side. Very unhappy other side.
Right. And we like that, actually. Mm-hmm. We like that when the other side is not happy. And we did a special Dark Outpost featuring Tom and some information that I'd heard before, but it didn't hit me as hard as when I actually saw the picture, the article. I read it, and I was like, at the end of the Dark Outpost, I said to David, if I get thrown in jail, you better bail me out. It was pretty explosive information. It's out there. We felt that it was very necessary that we actually put it on Rumble. And so if you want to see what Tom Althouse has revealed, which goes to the White House, to Russia Gate, to a specific FBI agent who is in Congress, an individual targeting Tom and giving favors to his sister. And it's explosive at the least.
I want to say this, Brent. I know you're here and you're listening. You better go in through the chat, start getting money together for us for bail money.
My Gmail, my PayPal is shepherdentertainment@gmail.com.
That's your job tonight,
dog
Brent.
food, but this might take precedence.
I've been told from the inside sources that Mr. Fitzpatrick is probably going to have a breakdown. He's losing it.
That's so sad.
I know.
Well, will he keep his pants in front of the queen? Oh, did I say that?
I gotta say something before we get too far. I have to say, you know what one of my prayers was after I saw the Matrix was I said, God, I want to be the glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
You are a glitch in the Matrix. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and we'll bring Jenny out and get her going so we can find some stuff out because we got stuff we need to know.
Jenny.
Come on, Jenny, come on in.
Hi.
Jenny,
Hello.
Jenny, who can I turn to? Oh, that's Jenny.
Sing it to
Jenny.
her, Penny. Sing it to her.
I want to ask you about this mysterious message, which is from, I don't know if it was from the NOAA, but there was also a DOD. Somebody said that they had a DOD notice that came on their phone. And she's like, I don't understand because I don't even work for the DOD, how I would even get this.
Who sent out the DOD message? Or who got the DOD message?
I don't know. It was a person on Twitter.
Yeah.
Actually, Brenda sent it to me. It was a person on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, DOD can broadcast.
Can they?
Same as, oh, yeah.
But do they
Oh,
do
well,
that to like
that might
normal
have been
people
it.
that don't work for the DOD?
Generally, no. I don't think so, but they could do it, I suppose.
What's the
Maybe it
deal?
was.
Okay, it
maybe
says,
was
oh, this is from Clandestine. Yes, Clandestine actually is apprised of some of them. He says, I just confirmed with multiple active government sources that they also got the alert from the DOD alert system via Alexandria phone number 703-454-0563, calling and warning for everyone to get a flashlight and expect potential power outages from a solar flare. I'm not making this shit up. DOD alert system is warning all employees about the event. The only thing I can't figure out is why the hell I got the call, because I do not work for the Department of Defense.
Well, they have the
Honey.
option to publicize it if they want.
I saw some local people in our town posting stuff about some power out, some stuff going down.
This
You
guy
and they're
has
freaking out.
504K followers.
Wow.
So not a schmuck, if you will. So
Yeah.
and he goes by Clandestine at War Clandestine. It's another individual I follow as well. So what do you know about this this incident that you can inform us about it?
Well, I don't know anything about the DOD other than, well, I do know some stuff about the DOD, but
Well, like with this, these are some of the tweets that I got. Let's see. It says that there's going to be a solar flare. And then somebody said Democrats will try everything in their power to win the elections in 2024. Assassinate Trump, fake alien invasion, create a false flag, cancel elections, and bring down the power grid. And then here's another article where it says scientists warn that solar storms could potentially wipe out the internet for weeks or months. Possible dates, of course, are October through November 2024.
Of
Or
course.
just 3 days of darkness, you know.
well, a lot of it has to do with sunspots. And right now, but this is a deep subject. And actually, I've been
Yep.
looking at stuff like this since 2012. And in 2012, there were really strange looking string of what appeared to be nuclear explosions on the sun. And there were 7 of them across the equatorial sun. And right around, I think it would have been the fall of 2012. And I swear that DOD did an experiment where they sent nuclear tipped missiles into the sun. I don't have any confirmation of that, but looked to me like that's, I mean, it was just too simultaneous. You know, sunspots come and go. They blink in, they blink out, you know, and right now we have a cluster, I believe it's 3066, that has put out 6 coronal mass ejections. All at, actually, some of the later coronal mass ejections that were put out are faster than the first ones, so they're catching up to the first ones, and they're going to gang up on us. And over today and tomorrow and Sunday, actually they're saying actually it could be up to 5 days that we're going to be having disturbances of various types. It could be radio blackouts, cell phone outages, power outages. I had a 5-hour power outage today.
You did.
Yeah, starting around 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, and but that's, you know, we're having a blizzard, where we did have a blizzard, and so
What?
I
Yeah,
know.
we had a
I
blizzard.
don't know. I thought that winter was over, but I must have been mistaken.
well, this has been a real cold May. Our nights have been we're barely out of the freezing at night, and this is exceptional. for us.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
so we had a lot of snow, and this morning I woke up to 3 inches of snow. And
I
it is-
decided that I've
We're on
decided
like
I'm moving.
Texas.
I'm moving out there where Jenny lives because that's my kind of weather.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
I'm in the central Rocky Mountains in
Ah,
Colorado.
the donor party. Got you.
Rocky
Okay.
Mountain High.
Well, actually, pretty far south from there, but
Okay. All right.
yeah, that was Donner Pass. I believe that's in California. I
Donner,
think.
dinner for one.
Oh, that's
Donner dinner for one.
bad. I thought I was
And he didn't miss a beat on that one.
Sorry, couldn't tell.
finger. Okay.
It's 2 a.m.
Well, actually, the north end of this valley is it spent a fair amount of time hosting Alfred Packer. I don't know if you ever heard of him,
Mm-mm,
but
who's that?
he was a cannibal.
Wonderful.
He was jailed in the Saguache County jail for several months.
Did he eat his way out?
No, but he was held there for eating people. And I don't really know the story about Alfred Packer, but I think he was a prospector, and I think he ate the competition.
Oh God! Well, that's
think
one way to
Susie-
do it.
I think Susie and I are going to have to look
All
that
the
up and
gold is
investigate.
for me.
You know, when you
Arg.
don't have time to go hunting,
Right.
Jesus.
It's all for me.
Take a big party.
Don't
and
even
eat
need to
that.
go to the Amazon anymore. You just go,
Yep, yep,
to the
yep.
United States, get eaten.
Well, he was that was back in I think the late 1800s or well, let's see. This area was doing gold mining, and this area participated in the 1849 silver rush, and so it was probably right around that time.
I bet he would have won one of those around the world races. He'd have just started at the back and ate everybody all the
eat
way
the
up. Till he got been a fat ass by the time he got there.
Buffet for one.
That's awful.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of a
I'm sorry
horrible
to laugh
joke.
because there was a story that we did about a guy in Vegas, which is still on my mind, that the police called. It was a 911 call, and this guy was
Right.
eating another guy. He was eating his ear and his eye.
Oh yeah,
and-
that was just recent.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
that stuff.
Nothing
doesn't go
nothing
away.
new under the sun.
No.
as
So
they say.
do you guys remember the story of Lorena Bobbitt?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, so
That was
what
an
did,
interesting name.
What a name. Bobbit.
yeah, what did Richard Dahmer say to Lorena Bobbitt?
What?
Are you gonna eat that?
Can I cook it first? Can I cook it first?
Waste not, want not.
That's just painful. Painful.
Sorry, Tom. Tom's the only guy here, y'all. Be careful. That might be a sensitive little subject right there.
It's a Friday night joke, a sensitive subject.
Sorry.
Oh, my God.
It's been a long day.
But we just ran into the gutter.
All kidding aside, yeah. A little. Lord have mercy.
She's laughing. She's gonna wipe her eyes. Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
back to the solar flare. The solar flare. Is
Yeah.
that
Ooh,
what
we got off track on that one, did we?
a
Yeah.
little bit?
A bit. Can I share my screen?
Yes,
Okay, let me bring this up. I'll share.
that was great, Jenny.
And
Crying my eyelashes off. Hang on.
so one of the things they're saying is if your sky is clear, you might get to see auroras.
Yes.
All the way down to Mexico, they're saying. It's exceptional. And the auroras are going to be pretty interesting. So
Clear
basically,
skies. Phew,
Yeah.
That's rare.
well, certainly for
absolutely.
me, I've got completely gray. It's been raining and snowing all day. And but so this they're saying it's an extreme geomagnetic storm. Now, if you look over there at the solar wind on the left side there, 706 kilometers per second. That's the highest I've ever seen it.
Did you bring it in?
Yeah, I did. I should be sharing my screen.
I don't see it.
I haven't seen it yet. Hi, Pamela.
It has to
Mother's
show up
Day.
on our.
Hey, Pamela.
Did you do share and
I
then
did.
screen?
I don't think Pamela has snow where she's at.
And then
I think
window,
not in Miami.
and then click on what it is that you want to share.
Okay, let me go back then.
It's
Oh,
share.
okay, here it is. Application window.
Yes, window, and then you click on the actual item that
It doesn't
goes
show
up
me
there.
the application window. It doesn't show.
It's
All right,
just
let me try the entire screen,
okay.
and then let's see if I can bring it up.
Okay, hang on. I just heard something. There's something.
There we go.
Hey,
Okay, so yeah, auroras are very possible. And basically what we have right now are 6 very strong X flares. And I'd like to point out that our magnetosphere is at its weakest point in my lifetime.
Okay, can you
I
just
believe that.
explain what a magnetosphere is?
Okay, the Earth has an iron core. And there's a lot of conflict in scientists' disagreement.
Yeah.
Some think it's a liquid iron core, and others say it's kind of a pasty, very hot iron core. And basically, because of the spin of the Earth, and I know some of your people, some of your watchers are going to say, "Well, the Earth is flat." Regardless of
That
whether
would be me here on the screen. You know.
She's a flat earther.
well,
I'm a flat
Earth,
girl.
regardless of whether the Earth is, whether you think it's flat or round, it does go around,
yes.
and it is a magneto. And a
Well,
magneto,
maybe the other stuff goes around. You know. Just saying.
Well, somebody's going around, and anything that goes around creates a fluctuating magnetic field, and that has our magnetic field is what protects us from the solar wind. If we didn't have a magnetic field, we probably would not be here on the surface of the Earth, because the sun puts out gamma rays and X-rays, all kinds of UV and IR, all kinds of parts of the electromagnetic spectrum are being, sprayed out by the sun, and our magnetic field mainly deflects it around the Earth. And one of the reasons they get the aurora at the poles is that that's the place where the solar wind is ruffling up the ionosphere. It's basically passing by, and the rotation, however you want to say it, you can say the Earth is flat. Something's still rotating, however.
Yeah.
And that rotation is where the atmosphere is rotating as well. And the solar wind from the sun is ruffling up the top of the atmosphere as it goes by. And that is exciting the particles in the ionosphere to actually get to the point where they glow. And that's the aurora australis or the aurora borealis. And our magnetosphere has been declining. And nobody can say why. It's down to, as far as I know, and I haven't had an update in a long time, but the last I checked, it was 5 to 10% of average. So it's really, really down there. And that means that certain solar flares and stuff like that can penetrate down to the surface of the Earth. And when they do that, they can cause all kinds of disturbances in the power lines. They can cause radio blackouts. They can wreak havoc with navigation, like GPS and stuff like that.
Jenny, wasn't there wasn't something like that? Like, didn't it happen like 100 or something years ago, or maybe a really bad one? Do you remember?
Yeah, 1859.
Okay.
It was called the Carrington event. And at the time, we did not really use electricity very much. We had telegraph, and we didn't have telephones at the time, but we had a telegraph system. And that Carrington event in 1859, people were still using kerosene lanterns and stuff like that. So they wouldn't even know. They used ice boxes, not refrigerators. Yeah. And so they would not even notice it, except that a lot of the telegraph shacks caught on fire. And some of the telegraph operators were electrocuted because the energy was coupling on the wires of the telegraph network. And traveling along those wires and then shorting out the telegraph switches
Jeez.
and stuff like that. And so that was 1859. We haven't had anything similar to that, but if we did now, it would take our world down pretty thoroughly.
So, there's a lot of prophecy, Jenny, about 3 days of darkness,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not biblical in the sense it does say the sixth seal, the sun will go dark, and the stars will fall out of the sky. It does say that, it'll fall from the firmament or whatever, but that's Revelations.
Right.
But if it is 3 days, like some people say, it'll go into complete darkness. And can we even imagine what that's going to be like, Jenny?
Well, actually, the 3-day thing may be, days are relative. When back in the days of the Bible, people lived 700 to 900 years, right? And so,
True.
So you got to wonder what that 3 days could be a relative thing. Yeah.
Right.
How they
I'm saying the prophets. It's not biblical to say 3 days. It's not in the Bible. It says nothing about 3 days.
But the period of darkness.
The prophets or people who have words from God, they say they were told it's going to be a 3-day blackout. Not to go outside. It's going to be a very bad time. Stay in your houses. I don't know if you've heard that.
Well, yeah, there are lots of ancient, the Popol Vuh,
warnings.
Which is the Mayan codex. All around the world, you'll find records, whether they be legend or myth or folk tales or whatever. And there's a book I can recommend by Paul LaViolette, who's a physicist, called Earth Under Fire. And basically what he did is he tracked it down, those myths and legends all around the world. And as a physicist, his theory is that the center of every galaxy is like a large capacitor, and every now and then it goes through a field collapse. And when that field collapse happens, it pushes out gravity waves, and the gravity waves will kind of gather up and push like a tidal wave of space dust and little rocks and asteroids and just like a wall of grit and coming out from the center of the galaxy. And they've actually they've looked at some other galaxies and they think they've seen the leading edge of something like that happen. And basically, so gravity waves come first and they push out all this junk that's just lying around in space, like dust and rocks and all that kind of stuff. And the wave engulfs the sun. And so the sun goes dark and it engulfs Earth's atmosphere as well. And gravity, the Earth's gravity will start pulling some of that crap in. And a lot of it is iron. And so a lot of the myths say that the sun turns red and basically the sun goes dark. Mm-hmm. And you better hope it's only 3 of our days.
The moon turns red, yeah. The moon turns red, the sun goes dark, and stars fall from the sky.
Yeah, and I think the stars falling from the sky is actually meteors of the
Well, it says that the firmament, the firmament will roll up like a scroll, and then when that happens, whatever that interpretation is, the firmament is the dome or the arch. That's what a firmament means, a dome. It's going to roll up like a scroll, and then the stars are going to fall. That just sounds pretty serious. Whatever that is, whatever.
Right. Well, it's actually echoed in the Popol Vuh, which is the Mayan story of it. And they're basically saying that they were trying to climb trees to get away from what seemed to be flaming oil coming down from the sky. Okay. And that was done within the existence of humans on Earth.
That's the story of Nimrod as well. They shot, missiles up into the sky and fire came down. They said they thought they killed God, but instead they were being burned alive from molten glass that was burning them from the sky, from the firmament.
You'll find it everywhere. From the Eskimos to the Aborigines, you'll find the same basic stories. And yeah, so it seems like it
just keeps happening. Yeah.
Yeah, on a cycle.
Well,
and we're overdue.
There's I was watching this thing, not to interrupt, but there's a meteor or something like a meteor asteroid that goes around every 20,000 years or something. I forget. It's like a huge cycle, and we're due. And they said that what it does is it drags a debris field. And this
that would be Nibiru, right?
Okay, yeah.
Nibiru?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, wormwood. That would be wormwood.
Yeah.
Nibiru, I believe, was what they called the moon that went in front of the sun. I believe it was. This is me. Okay, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, the Nibiru is actually looks like the moon. Like they would put motherships from aliens, and they would make them look like they belong in the sky. And it did an X in the sky, like Planet X. Okay, and what it needed to do was charge up in front of the sun. It needed the solar sun, because I said after this thing goes to the sun and it draws the power, we're going to see more tornadoes, more floods, more. The gravity is going to cause the water to change. We're going to see more catastrophes on this earth with our weather than we've ever seen in our lifetime. That's my take. Within the next, I don't know, I said it could go on for a year or so because of what this thing did at the sun and came through. That's where I'm going with that.
Susie, I'm hearing this too, Jenny. It's like they actually found tunneled cities, like
everywhere
out in Mideast and everything, where they went underground because of the flooding was going to come. They knew it, and this thing dragged it all in and just caused the oceans to go crazy. Yeah.
You'll find that kind of story and actually written legends and everything. I mean, there are reasons why they intentionally buried Göbekli Tepe, and one of the places they found, I think it was either Spain or Italy, was an underground city capable of 50,000 people living there.
And they said they could seal up the entrance to it, and it wasn't to keep out invaders. The rock wasn't to keep out invaders. That's circular rock. It was to protect against waters. It's amazing.
And the way they built them underneath is that they had venting and water flow. They actually had like flush toilets, and they built them so that they would tunnel in low and then go up, so that any water that was rolling down on them would drain away and be be below them. But
well, in the story of Nibiru, it talks about wormwood, and that's a meteor that it drags with it. And I think that's what Tom, you were kind of referencing something.
Yeah, that's they actually. I have some video you would not believe. I don't know whether
probably would.
People have been watching some of this stuff for years, and I was just looking at a video that I found, I think around probably 2013. And this guy is up in Alaska, and he's got some very clear images of this nasty reddish cratered looking body that you can see on the FAA webcams in certain part, at certain times. It's very faint, but if you know how to look for it, you can see it.
Do you have pictures of that, Jenny?
I have a whole video of it.
Oh, wow.
Act like ancients were dumb and drooling idiots. And it's like, actually, the ancients were brilliant. They had a brilliantly lit night sky they can study, and they spend a lot of time attentive to that. It'd be amazing to have someone come back, an ancient, and tell us stuff. We'd be blown away, probably.
Let me see if I have that. I'm trying to remember the name of that. I have some amazing videos. I think this might be it. Let me try this. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna share my screen again, I guess. And we can stop this at some point, but okay, I'll try this again. I don't know how it's gonna handle video. Yeah, it looks like it might. So what are you guys seeing? Can you see a video?
You just need to hit play. You just need to hit play. It's black screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to get down there. It's kind of distorting my screen. Let me hit play this way. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Can you hear him?
Nope.
Oh,
not yet. It's just a black screen right now.
It looks like
I hope that's not an indication of the 3 days of darkness.
I was going to say.
Well, see, I shared. I don't know how to make it shared then, I guess. Because I mean, it's so simple.
Is it
Yeah,
online?
Can you send it to Penny or Brenda?
Sure.
Or can you send it to Penny? Okay.
Penny. I have a question while you're doing that, Jenny.
Okay.
The elephant in the room. Is there anything, they keep talking about go out to the mountains, get away from the cities, watch the auroras. Is there anything dangerous about this for humans? This, I mean, they don't talk about it. They say, go watch it. I'm like, I'm going to stay indoors.
Well, the aurora, you know, it depends. I mean, it's sure dangerous if you have a pacemaker. It can couple in. And it probably would be dangerous. I mean, it would be nasty. It could mess with your hearing aids if you had hearing aids.
No, I just have a fantastic tan, but I don't.
I have a fake leg and a metal elbow. Will I get attached?
You might get some little shocks.
Ooh.
Let's see here.
Are you sending it to my?
If it gives off electricity, I would be like shooting fire out of my fingers. Yeah.
I don't know if it's too big.
Is
Let's see
it?
if it'll. I don't know. We'll see.
You might have to. Where did it come from? Did it come from YouTube?
A long time ago, like
Oh.
10 years ago.
Yeah, it's not there now.
Do you think any animals would be affected, like bats? You
Yeah.
think
Well,
dolphins?
definitely. It's a magnetic disturbance. You realize so.
Oh.
It has the ability to mess with GPS and any sort of computational navigation. You know, it really can do that.
So
It
birds.
says it's sending the message, so we'll see.
Jenny, you're Tom and Penny and Brenda. You know the Nibiru. The meaning of Nibiru means the destroyer of worlds.
Right.
Okay.
Jenny, where
Yeah.
did you send it?
Fear of walls.
To you.
To me?
Yeah.
Did you send it through We?
No, I was just sending it through Proton Mail.
Okay. To
Back to
Dark
you.
Outpost?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's going to go. It says sending message. It didn't error out. Let's see how big it is. This thing is amazing to watch. It's really a valuable video to me.
What's your projection for this event, Jenny?
Well, that sunspot cluster is pretty close to going around facing away from Earth. So over the next 2 or 3 days, it could put out a couple more, but pretty soon it's going to be on the backside of the sun to us. So it won't be bothering us so much.
So after, you think it could be a couple of days to be careful, watch out, and then should get it in a better spot after that, or?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I don't think I'd get in any elevators for the next couple of days.
Right. That's what my dad did for a living, fixed elevators. Yeah. People got stuck in those all the time.
Did you send it?
I did send it. It is I don't know, it's 23 megs, so it's right on the edge. Right on the edge of Proton Mail's capacity. It should be there. It looks like it went.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet, so.
Yeah, it says it's sent successfully. So we'll see.
All right, I still haven't received it.
Anyway, so Immanuel Velikovsky was the original guy who wrote about Nibiru and about the various legends around the world about cyclical destruction that occurs over periods of time. And according to Paul LaViolette, it's about every 100,000 years, and he's actually done a lot of ice core sampling. And he could tell, going back 400,000 years, that this event has happened from time to time over that period of time. And he's come up with an average of about every 100,000 years or so. There is a field collapse in the center of our galaxy that causes all kinds of disturbances. And so And we'll see. We live in interesting times, you know.
And when was that written? That guy that you're talking about? When was that?
Earth
when did
Under
he write
Fire?
that?
It was a couple of years ago, probably like 3 years ago. I think it's still
Okay.
available on Amazon.
So it's a modern writer that wrote about that. Somebody?
Yeah, he's a physicist. Okay. He's a PhD physicist.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Actually, this is prior to his book. He was, I think, I'm not sure if he appeared both years, but I know he was part of the Secret Space Program conferences, one that happened in Bastrop and one that happened in San Mateo.
Are you talking? Who are you talking about?
What was that?
Are you talking about Jim Mars?
I'm talking about the Secret Space Program conference.
Yes. Jim Mars spoke at that in Bastrop.
Jim Mars. Yeah. Jim Mars. Yeah, among others. Catherine Austin Fitz and Joseph Farrell. And Daniel Lisk was the host of it 1 year. And that was 2014 and 2015. And those are still available on
Jim
YouTube.
Mars the guy from Austin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke with him on the phone a bunch back in the day because I was from Austin, Bastrop.
Well, I really had a lot of respect for him and his research. He was a true old-style newspaper man, investigative reporter.
The only thing I didn't like was that he told me that he married Alex Jones and his wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I have
no idea.
Alex Jones. I'm on the side of his ex-wife. That he was kind of a bully and still is. Kind of a loudmouth bully.
I think so. I have trouble with his voice. I just, he's
like, screaming.
Well, it's like, get those polyps fixed, will you? I mean, he talks for a living, so he should get the throat operation and get the polyps fixed.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to do, I think.
Yeah, don't you think?
I really like it.
Thanks, no.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So let's talk more about this.
I have a lot of trouble listening to him.
You and me both.
I don't have much.
I don't like men that are always angry all the time. It's like a little hard to be around. Screaming and yelling and jumping up and down like a monkey. Yeah, I have problems with that.
I don't like anybody that's angry all the time.
I don't like all that drama. It's too much drama for me.
Yeah. So anyway, the thing about this though, now that we've got a sunspot going crazy is basically what we have right now. It's a very complicated sunspot, and it's got a whole lot of different magnetic flux flying around. And that we did set records today. 6 X-class flares, all the, like within 24 hours or something. It's
what kind of records? Like world records or like what kind of records?
I don't know how long they go back. I don't know how long they've had the ability to measure X-ray flux from the sun, but I know that 6 in a row like that of X5 or greater is exceptional. It's exceptional. Probably since 1859.
Yeah,
I'd be willing to bet.
I think Jesse Owens set the record for sun flares back in 1960s. Yeah.
Jesse Owens?
Yeah.
Wasn't he at track and field?
Yeah, he set the record. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he did the flares.
First 2017.
He would have been pole vaulting in a dress, right? With a flare. But anyway, the thing is, it can really mess with navigation. That's one of my concerns. And it's really people who are flying right now, people who are flying during a solar flare get a lot of radiation exposure. And it can literally, if it's bad enough, it goes up higher than an X5 and you're up there 30,000 feet, it could blind you. It's pretty amazing.
2017.
What was that?
I've got the video and I'm just trying to figure out how to share this video because it's not letting me pull it up on the
yeah, that's what it did to me.
Hang on a second. That's all I'm doing is I'm just working on that, trying to.
A guy was asking a question. I was like, which guy is talking?
Yeah.
They should all discount flights. The airline should offer, special solar flight discounts.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what Brenda did.
what?
Ha 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 ha.
Do you have it, Brenda?
Yeah, if I can
Yeah.
get back there to play it now.
Good job.
Hang on. I'm getting there.
First, 2017. Almost.
All right. Let me see.
This is great.
Let me see if I can get it to play. Let me know if you hear it. Ah, for crying out loud. Where are you going?
First, 2017.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Almost August 1st. And we're looking at Hyder to the northwest at 5:06 p.m. We've got this object here. Some 10 clouds trying to obfuscate it, which are effective to some extent.
It's very subtle. You have to look carefully.
What are we looking at, Jenny?
We're looking at that blob right there.
Oh,
And I'm blind. I can see it, Susie.
I see it. You're one-eyed.
Looking to the west at 2:49 p.m.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Okay. Jeez.
Holy cow.
Interesting.
Looks like a Pac-Man.
It's got a big crater.
Huh.
You can see it revolve in some of these shots.
You know, for what it's worth, that's beautiful scenery.
Yeah, it's Alaska.
Wow. Susie, let's all go to Alaska.
What's especially interesting is that you can see the reflection of this object in the water.
Huh.
It's faint, but I've actually seen years ago. I actually got a picture of something similar right here in the San Luis Valley.
That.
Kind of red in color, huh?
Reddish, yeah. They say it's
Well, in the
iron.
Bureau associated with a red and a blue, whatever they are, ships or whatever they are.
Lots of people think that it's a brown dwarf that has been kind of drawn in by the sun. But whatever it is, it's big. It's way bigger than Earth. And it's visible. And believe me, the FAA started editing webcam shots after this.
Huh.
Ooh.
There you go.
See right through it. You can see right through it.
Well, it's very faint. It's got a lot of atmosphere in between us and it.
Of this object I've gotten.
Yeah, I can see right through it.
Unbelievable.
That happens a lot.
Boy, if somebody really messed up and missed this camera.
Yeah.
Misty Ford's looking to the south.
Look at the
All these
chemtrails.
chemtrails trying to hide this object.
Maybe they're trying to mask it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Man, oh man.
I think we're the only species alive that tries to deceive themselves.
Right.
Another object up here.
That's amazing.
Well, once again, this is so dramatic. I want to hone in on it. Absolutely.
They keep telling us there's nothing new under the sun. Yeah, right.
We are at
Penny, can you let Susie in?
Metlakatla, looking to the west. It is 3:05 p.m. and look at what we got. Behind the chemtrails.
Hey.
The camera masks out the brightest part of the sun to
Oh.
protect itself.
Simply amazing.
Look at that. There it is again. It's faint. It takes a little practice to get used to seeing it.
Hey, I can see it with one eye. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Same area looking to the northeast. This is a fleet of UFOs.
Too cool.
Alaska is one of the most popular places to find UFOs, and I find them all the time. I find them so often I don't even show them anymore. All the time. But this one's pretty fascinating, so I thought I would. No, those are not birds. Yep. Unbelievable. Boy, have we been lied to.
Yeah. All of our lives.
Looking to the southeast. And we've got a moon-like object right there. It's not the moon.
Very faint.
Look how fast it moves too. These are 10-minute increments. I've been showing this for a long time. I haven't seen it in a while, but these objects seem to come and go, and they just don't really understand the orbital path exactly, but
Helicopter.
we'll go a while and not see anything, then all of a sudden let's see a bunch of stuff again, which is what's happening today. Very fascinating.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Continuation of that object across the southern sky now, trying to be hidden by a chemtrail.
Very faint.
Or many chemtrails.
All right.
Too late. I got this object here. Very busy skies today. Okay, we are at Hawk Inlet, looking to the west. And there's the object right there.
Takes practice to get to see it, to be able to see it
We haven't seen
sometimes.
this in so many other places, you could say it might be a lens flare, but no. It's over, Shills. It's over. So forget it. You go home. All right, this is from the All Sky Cams, Union City, San Francisco. What the heck is going on here?
I think it's a meteor.
Could that be like a fast-moving white dwarf or something? What the heck is that? Is it a meteor? What the heck?
The fact that it doesn't continue makes me think it burns out.
And it's totally bizarre. I have no idea what I've captured there. If anybody knows, let me know.
Now, Jenny, when we were talking about wormwood in the Bible or whatever, the reason they called it wormwood was not because that was the name of the green thing that traveled with when they were doing the eclipse. They said that thing. It was because it's like a poisonous gas that's like woodworm, which is wormwood, or wormwood actually kills. Like it's kind of
Parasites.
use it to kill, parasites.
Yeah.
I was going to say yes.
It's
So
Artemisia. Wormwood is Artemisia.
So it's kind of given that reference like wormwood, but that's not the actual name of it. But supposedly it touches the waters, and the waters become bitter. Okay, that's the biblical revelation, that when wormwood or this thing supposedly will touch, and it will touch a third of the sea, touch a third of the rivers, and it will become bitter to where you can't drink it or you will die because it becomes so bitter. I don't know if you've read that.
That could be atmospheric contamination from a foreign body coming close to the surface of the earth.
We're talking about this thing trailing behind all this debris and stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they said that that event where it dragged all the debris into the earth, that the oceans weren't safe, and like a third of the ocean wildlife died off too. Died. So
that would say atmospheric contamination to me.
Yes, like it's
That would make total sense. Imagine something like that right out there, visible next to the sun. I mean, what's to stop it from coming closer?
Right. Exactly.
Over the years, now I got this
It says it will happen. It says it's going to happen.
Well, I got this video about 12 years ago, and in 12 years we haven't had a crash, but who's to say that they went away? And actually, there was a period of time when there was actually more than one visible, and so I don't know whether it's a cycle or things passing through that momentarily get captured in the gravitational field of the sun, or just exactly what it is. But I have seen these things on the Alaska webcams myself. And I've actually seen it in the sunrise down here as I was driving toward Alamosa, which is the largest city in the San Luis Valley. And it was plain as day. I got a picture of it in the sunrise one morning.
You know what kills me? What really kills me is that we have paid taxpayer money for loser Congress people and Pentagon people to be able to go in the underground city when an extinction event comes. And that's the ones that are going to survive. That's what's going to repopulate our planet. But yet, Homeland Security, they made these rules under Biden and others that if we have a surplus of food, they haven't determined what that amount is, they can seize it from us. They can seize our guns.
Yeah, that was Obama. That was all the executive orders under Obama.
And under the idea they share for all. Sounds like communism. So if they're going to share for all, then open up your underground city and let the citizens in. So. Yeah,
right. No, actually, I was a training designer for the Department of Energy, and I helped with some of the statistical computation, I guess, on the pilot for the courses related to COG. And there were a couple of incidents during the time I was at DOE where we did drills, or we had certain security conditions where it was essential staff only were to report to work. And as a training designer, I wasn't considered to be essential. And that would tell me right away that as a training designer, I'd never get past the gates.
Well, that's what happened, Ginny.
Hey, guys, we are at the top of the hour, and we've got to take our little 5-minute breaking thing.
So everybody can go to the little girls' room or the boys' room and get something to drink and, take a little break.
Yes. So we're going to take a quick break, everybody. So stick with us, and we shall be right back.
Break it down. Break it down. Break it down.
Hello, and we are back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Yes, Penny, you're smart. Well, we're back, but we see. Well, there he is.
Am I smart?
But Tom's not.
I was Corona Bear.
My goodness. Well, so back to what we were talking about. Tom,
Now, that wasn't the intention, but it's like I have looked at the FAA webcams for years, and you repeatedly see stuff like this. Some of them are better than others, and there are hundreds of them, and so it's just kind of a shooting match where and when you're going to see something. But as I said, I have stopped and gotten a picture on the road of something I could see in the east near the rising sun here in the San Luis Valley in Colorado. So it's not just on the webcams. It's not just some artifact showing up on webcams. And but I haven't looked for it in a long time now, because at a certain point, what do you do with the information? It's like, other than do your preps that you should be doing anyway, because it could be a blizzard like I had this morning and a power outage. If that power outage kept on going, I do have 3 solar panels and an inverter that I could put up, or I have a little 1,000 watt generator that it's real quiet. And if I needed to keep my frozen food frozen, I could run that for a while. But
That's good.
I know that when we had that whole snow thing that knocked us out for 7 days, I opened up my top of my refrigerator because it was just as cold in my house as I keep my fridge. My freezer stays 6 below. Do you know that for 7 days our electricity was off? When it came back on, I opened that freezer and everything in my freezer was rock solid, still frozen.
That's
Wow.
great.
I didn't lose. The only thing I lost was a gallon of milk because milk is iffy funny anyhow.
Yeah,
But everything else, I didn't lose a thing. It
that's
was
great.
great. So we have everything that we need. The only other thing I have to do before anything happens is I got to go to the vape shop and make sure I have enough vapes in this house so I don't have to hurt nobody. And I have enough heavy furniture to put up against all of my doors, so ain't nobody getting in here. So I'm good.
You just
You were
reminded
talking
me.
about. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
Well, everybody was talking about the underground bases and stuff like that, and I heard that the biggest underground city was in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. A lot of truckers that I know have to take supplies under there said they'd been under there, and it's a huge, huge facility there. And then also
Yeah, I've heard
in
of one in
Palmdale.
Oklahoma.
Okay, Palmdale,
Oklahoma.
California. I would say a family that I grew up with, and a person that I call like a brother, Penny knows, a guy named Mitch. He told us about when there was an earthquake in California, and him and his girlfriend, they blocked off the road, and they had like this concrete thing, and his girlfriend wanted to see over it, so he boosted her up, and then she's like, Mitch, I think you need to look at this. And then he looked over there and he said, as far down as he could see for miles and miles was streets and military trucks and everything in an underground facility in Palmdale, California. He said it was just so deep for miles.
I wonder why would you build an underground city on an earthquake fault? That part I don't get.
You know.
You know?
Well, what does the scripture say in Revelations? That they will look to hide in the earth. They will say, but then they will say, hide us from the wrath of him to come, and they're and apparently, because I think if there's a giant, supposedly the prophecy is there's a giant earthquake, and so if the earthquake hits, is that going to be a good place to be when everything's shaking? I don't think so, but
I don't think so. Yeah.
Isn't that what Obama did with his movie Leave the World Behind, and they show them going into underground bunkers in that show?
Well, that's
Yeah,
what's so wild, Susie. What's wild is like they're saying everything's coming true in the screenplay that I have. And in it, the good guys build an underground city. We build an underground city. And we have people that aren't government there. We have actually good people there, nice people there. That would be good.
And when you wrote The Matrix, didn't you put in the underground city, right? That
yes,
the people went into.
City, I do. First I called it Zion, which they use. Then I called it Wintergreen.
Oh, Wintergreen. Okay. Not Evergreen, Wintergreen.
Yeah. Right. And that's all just felt guided, led. It has the fake Oval Office and everything that they're now doing. So it's crazy that they're imitating everything that's in there and then saying they put us in our own story. But that's something that if I ever get the returns due, name credit back, I'd like to create something for good people. The piece was written to gather good people from across the world. I call them remnant, and get them together and have the world reset with wonderful people that are experts in their fields that have heart and compassion. That's your ticket in. You have to have heart and compassion. So yeah.
When we went to I think Penny, when we went, I think it was in Arkansas? I think it was. We went to that place with the caves, and it was like the largest public place that you can go underground in the caves, and it was so nice in there. It was like 69 degrees all year round. I mean, it was like air conditioned. I mean, it's actually pretty nice, and underground. You don't need heaters or air conditioners. It's just a nice temperature.
Yeah.
I can see why they're going there,
Well, it blows my mind. They can seize anything we have: food, weapons, water. Ginny, right? They can take.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that they can script our labor. They can make us work for them. They can enslave us, according to the executive order. They can demand that we work for them without pay.
Yeah. We can get enough of us together to go beat them up and tell them they're fired and toss them out on their butts.
That was all under Obama. Those EOs, executive orders.
I blame him for a lot of stuff, so we'll just say we blame Obama.
He's just kind of a mouthpiece for the powers that be. You know, I was just their representative and their executive, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, didn't
yeah,
Trump come out with the famous saying, "You're fired"?
Yeah.
Right.
But didn't I tell you,
Yeah.
Penny? Didn't I tell you, Penny? Didn't I tell you that they have a replacement already for Fitzpatrick? Since we went forward, you're muted. We have their replacement already for Fitzpatrick. Because
I think she's taking care of something. Hang on.
oh,
Oh,
Just because you see Penny's mouth
She's-
moving, we might have her on a string. Hang on.
I told her that she works super hard. So
Yeah, she's taking care of
well,
something.
another thing that that I'd heard, you know, Elon Musk moved to Bastrop and built SpaceX, and then he built his boring company there. So
Yeah.
he claims he's going to dig his tunnel from Bastrop to Los Angeles to get his cars there in 6 hours, in with his boring machine. You know.
well, I want
Yeah.
my tech back. I want my rights back that he took. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of his at all.
So when he does that and California falls into the ocean, does that mean that Bastrop's going to get flooded because of his tunnel?
No,
Hey.
it'll just be beachfront territory.
Right. Right. Then it'll be worth more.
Have people speculated on that? Have been some people? Have they actually set up like, here's where the new shoreline will be, like Superman with?
That's
Right.
one reason I live here. I'm waiting.
Okay.
No, when I lived in,
Well,
when I
that's just
lived
like in
Arizona.
Israel. Israel has tunnels all the way to Istanbul, Turkey, and all
Yeah.
underneath the Middle East. I mean, Turkey has some of the most crazy underground tunnels that people get lost there, and they never find their way out. But they've got tunnels. Really, the whole planet has tunnels and cities underground. I mean, they've been doing this for like
all around
ever.
all around the world.
Yes.
But then, doesn't that make you
new.
wonder about the huge earthquake that hit Turkey? It makes you wonder if maybe somebody was attacking a tunnel, and
Maybe
blowing
so.
up a tunnel.
Maybe
Yeah, and
so.
all the people on the surface just thought it was a horrible earthquake.
Well, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Well,
for you,
there's a
Jimmy.
prophecy about Israel will suffer the worst earthquake on the entire planet. It's in the biblical prophecy, that there will be, it's what they call the great earthquake. It'll take place in Israel.
Yeah. I had a question
maybe-
for you, Jenny. Question for you real quick. What you think of this? There's the Atlantic Ridge, right? In the center of the Atlantic, the Atlantic Ridge.
Right.
And they said that the oceans were so much lower, right? And I had this weird thought today. I wanted to bounce it off you, where what if there was a civilization out in this Atlantic Ridge? And then when that got flooded out, then it no longer was there, but they went out to all the different points. Because he's talking about all these
Sounds like
civilizations talk
Atlantis.
about coming out from different points and sharing their technology and learning.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. And so I'm wondering about, is there something in the middle there, or what do you think where it was?
Well, that's the deepest part. And, I'm sure that it's shifted over millions of years because it's one of those split points between continental land masses, But, I mean, they say Atlantis sank, and it's named Atlantis for a reason. And the word is...
I didn't think of that. Oh, my God. Yeah, duh. That's so wild.
Yeah.
Well, and so they say that the Atlanteans went out and taught the Egyptians and built the pyramids and that it was Atlanteans.
Egypt and Mayan. So they went.
Yeah,
it ends
both
up
directions.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Just kind of
Yeah.
makes sense that maybe that's what
Well,
happened. Maybe-
Yeah, and then if you look at the Ecuadorian people, what are they called? The Paracas skulls. They had very, very long. They don't have a sagittal suture on their skull.
Elongated skulls. Is that what you're talking about?
Elongated skulls with a reddish brown hair and.
And they keep talking about people coming out of the ocean. They come out of the ocean to teach them, and it's universal. They're teaching from
Pretty
east
much,
to-
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, amazing.
Oh, the cat wants out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if y'all can read the people typing in, but Pamela said that she lived in Turkey and grew up there, and then she went in some of these tunnels and caves in Turkey.
That's cool.
That's fascinating.
Can
Yeah.
she call in and tell us about it? Be cool.
Penny, she could probably call in to Penny because
Hey, not right now. She can't.
Oh, she can't right now.
He's busy. He looks
No,
serious.
not right now. She can't.
but You hear that, Pamela? You can call in, but have to wait a minute till Penny's not tied up here.
Penny's the
Must be
problem
in.
solver. She like solves all kinds of problems. It's amazing.
Penny is that go-to girl. Yes, she is that girl.
Yeah.
Told you
She's that girl.
She's our co-hostess that does the mostest.
Yeah. The law firm of Penny and Nickel.
Yeah.
Penny and nickel.
at the corner of Diamond Dollar. There she is.
Penny's worth her weight in gold and more than that.
You know, I just learned that, I mean, not to be totally off subject because you're taking care of your cat, Jenny, that a lot of the indigenous tribes in the U.S. will not use $20 bills because Andrew Jackson's on it. Do you know about that? Yeah, they won't.
No.
They get tens. They get tens because they will not, because they feel that Andrew Jackson is the one that is like worse than Hitler.
Well, didn't they say that he looks like Epstein or something? I mean, I've seen that, the comparison to Epstein.
Yes.
He looks just like him.
Yeah, because they ruled in favor of the Cherokee and everything, and then Andrew Jackson's quote was something like, you know, try to stop me or something. You know, it's like he went ahead anyway. And it was like,
I think there's a hatred campaign against him because he threw out the bank. He threw out the national bank.
He was getting rid of the Federal Reserve before the Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve. Yeah, right. That's why his portrait is on the wall behind Donald Trump when he was in office.
And the only the only president to get us out of debt, right? The only one.
Yeah, yeah. So in the meantime, though, I have something else to show you if it's okay with you, to share the screen again. This time I shouldn't have to send it. Let's see if I can proceed here. Let's see. I'm gonna. Can you see? Can you see space, positioning, navigation, and timing?
Yep, we got it.
Yeah. Okay, this is something back when I was working at DOE. Two things came out that never should have been on the internet, and this is one of them. You can see the time, June 9th, 2011. Okay, you know how they've been saying that the Russians have hacked our GPS system?
Yeah.
That the Russians know how to jam our GPS? Keep that in mind. I'm going to quickly go through this little show here. Okay, so we'll just go here. Now, the background of this is Light Squared broadband system. And these guys had a different kind of technology, and they wanted to commercialize it. And DOE got wind of, or not DOE, DOD got wind of it and decided that they better do a test on it before they allowed it to become commercially developed. And so they did a test in New Jersey and in New Mexico, and I'm going to show you the results. Now, okay, situation before Light Squared. Okay, low power on Earth communication satellite emissions, and they show you the filter response. And then the situation with Light Squared adds these base station emissions. Okay, so don't even worry about the technical part of it. But by the way, I want to show you the frequencies there: 1559, 1575, and 1610. So we already see the waveform, which by the way looks like a 5G waveform, and we're looking at the frequency range. Their DOD is telling us what the frequency range is. Okay. So these are their test methods, and what they did it both inside in an anechoic chamber, but they also did live sky testing. Okay, so they set up their rig, and then this is all the compliance and stuff they are looking at. This is telling you all the details of the test. Okay, so keep that in mind. You don't have to know the facts, but they're giving you, see how detailed that is? They're just showing you all the frequencies and what the center of the band is and all that. And so they tell you about the characterization tests, and the results indicate a large variation in susceptibility to Light Squared signals. So take a look at that. All receivers adversely affected by phase 0, 1, 2 signals to varying degrees. 5 and 10 megahertz low signals cause minimal effects on a limited set of receivers. And then they go on. Okay, so I'm going to continue on here. This is all the testing they did. Limitations of the tests. So they did 32 test events. So let's take a look at that. The results. FAA, all receivers lost the GPS solution. Survey receivers lost GPS. John Deere receivers lost GPS. The U.S. Coast Guard lost GPS. NASA lost GPS. And the Garmin GPS lost their GPS. So Live Sky testing successfully completed 14 test events in Live Sky. Live Sky test used light squared equipment, production transmitter, and they tell you kind of what they were doing. And there's the antenna, 100 feet high and 1,400 feet to the receiver. Now let's take a look at the Live Sky test. Police cruisers lost GPS reception, 600 feet from the tower. Ambulance, no GPS. Fire department, 1,000 feet from the tower, they had no GPS. GM OnStar lost GPS in most receivers. Significant degradation of service. Okay, distance kilometers for significant 1 decibel degradation by a single light squared ATC. Take a look at that. They show you aviation, maritime, high precision, like for surveys and science and agriculture and space. And so, anyway, the long story short is all this detail was published on the internet in 2011, and they're showing you how to take down military GPS.
They're showing you how to do it?
Yeah, the details of this test. There's the test.
Why would they put that out there for the public?
It was a boo-boo.
You got me. I took this right to my boss as soon as I found it.
So here's what I got to say. If y'all don't know how to read a map or a road atlas, you better learn. It's as simple as that.
And GPS is so important. I mean, to navigation for FAA. It was the FAA. So the airliners, you know,
Wow.
airplanes.
So so literally, they're telling you they can block anything, right?
Well,
And
you know how
to do
they've
it.
recently been saying that the Russians know how to hack our GPS?
Well,
Yeah.
They did. Yeah.
You know, that's going to be an awful lot of really stupid people wandering around everywhere.
So
not
who
knowing where they're
authorized
going.
this thing to be public? Do you know, or was it
I
like?
don't know. I took it to my bosses because that was the only thing I could do. I don't have any hookup to the DOD. You know, even working for DOE, I had no, other than I worked for the Air Force for 2 years. I was on loan to them.
And this show is for educational purposes only.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
it's that guy. It's that guy that's raising alpacas in Alaska now. I think it's him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I wanted to show you this because
Oh, wow.
you wonder how the Russians know how to defeat our military GPS.
Well, it sounds like a kindergartner, and can do it too with this. You know what you're
Well,
showing.
this is the technical detail on how they do it.
Yeah.
We know exactly what the Russians are doing to us because we told them how.
And they probably already knew it anyway. If it's that,
This
obvious.
is recent. They just had an event in the Black Sea with a Russian electronics warfare ship that basically took down the military GPS solution.
Told you I'm moving to Russia, Susie. One of these
Well,
days.
and so I had to put that out there because I've had this for more than a decade, and
and
then I
it's-
hear that the Russians have now defeated. They know how to hack our GPS, and it's like, well, of course, we told them how.
Well, that's okay.
Right.
Have you ever seen Putin with the long range rifle? He's really good at that too.
I bet he is.
Ours can't
You
even
did
walk up
see
the
that
stairs.
Israel actually hacked their own GPS, so their own people couldn't, find their way around the country because they wanted to make sure that that intruders couldn't use the GPS to find locations.
Well, and this also offers quite an opportunity to be able to spoof GPS, which could
Yeah.
do the same thing to us. So anyway, so
Did you
now
have
you
somebody
guys know about it.
Did you have somebody that needed to call me? I'm sorry, I had to take a call.
Pamela.
Susie, do you have somebody that
Pamela
wanted to call
Reeves.
in?
We were talking about Pamela about all the tunnels and
She
stuff.
lived
that
in
She was in
she
Turkey.
was lived in Turkey and went in those caves and stuff.
We thought
Pamela
it'd be fun to
Davis? Did she text in?
No,
Yeah,
she's
Pamela Reeves,
she's in the chat. She's watching
She's
the
in
show.
the chat.
She says,
Oh.
"I hear ya."
Did she want to call me and talk on the show?
Well,
That'd
tell
be
her.
cool.
Tell her.
Yeah,
Or do you
talk-
want to
Pamela,
send her a
you
link?
could call Penny
Pamela,
now.
do you want to call or do you want us to send you a link and you want to come on?
it's like a pajama party.
Yeah,
She
I'll
could
send
come
her a
on.
link.
Throw your
You
hair
can
up in
send
a
us
bun
you
and
can
let's
send
go.
a link and you could just come on in. If you know, we'd love to have you.
Okay, just 1 second. Penny on the spot. Ginny on the spot.
Heck, we can have Norma come on and Brent come on. We can just have us a big old pajama party. You're right, Tom. Wait,
And like
we
I
all got
said,
to get in our pajamas first.
I was saying, too, if Penny formed a law firm, Penny and Nickel, everybody
Penny
would
and
set
nickel.
all
Yes,
set.
if I I
Penny
had a
and
football
nickel.
player named
Penny and
Scotty
dime.
Moore, and I told Scotty, if your last name, if I married you, I'd be Penny Moore, and then if I married Paul Less, I'd be Penny Less.
Penny
Oh,
less.
Just call her Penny Money. Penny and Money.
Penny, Money Penny.
Money
You have
Penny.
a Money Penny in your family.
I do. I have a Money Penny in my family.
It's a good thing
If
Penny
you,
didn't marry
if you married,
Les.
if you married Doctor We Love You, it would be true.
Doctor, we love you.
Yeah.
See, Tom, my sixth grandfather married yours. What into your alt houses? So 6 generations back,
you
I
know
have
what?
alt houses.
I think that we are all related way back from our past. All of us.
I think we're
Tom,
probably
for
a
all
lot
you
closer
know,
than
you might be my
we are
little
further
brother,
away.
Tom. Are you my little brother, Tom? I think you're probably my little brother. Because I do believe I'm older than
brother
you.
from another
Pamela, I
mother.
sent you a link to your phone.
I know we're
Click on that
definitely
link, girl.
related, Penny and Brenda also.
Yes,
too far
Norma,
back.
we can make warm chocolate chip cookies. Would y'all like popcorn too?
Jenny, we're probably related to you too.
Who knows?
That's
Tommy,
right.
Tom, get on
just a
that. Will you
little
start the
research and-
chocolate chip cookies for the pajama party? Norma wants to know. You're muted.
He's saying yes.
I said, I'll turn it off and talk. I just need to talk. Like,
So someone's tired.
We have to learn how to read Tom's
I
lips
think
over
I'm
here,
getting
people.
loopy.
So,
So,
well, she read it, so she must be. I don't know if she's going to try to. Did she text
can't,
anyone?
I can't read your lips, Tom. I only got one eye.
Oh,
So
I'm listening.
just
I'm listening again. I'm listening
one
again.
lip.
Okay.
Talk with one lip. We'll be okay.
Talk with one
Okay,
lip.
Brenda, when I do the underground city, I'll do announcements and no one's going to hear anything. You'll just hear something.
Mike.
Everybody will call Penny. They'll all be like, "Where are we supposed to go, Penny?"
Right? How come she's not answering? Because I don't have a switchboard.
Well, Tom, on something that you were saying about the Mid-Atlantic Rift,
Yeah.
and it's ironic. We were kind of talking about Obama. Do you guys remember when there were 4 unauthorized nukes? And do you remember when Lindsey Graham was saying that they were going to nuke Charleston?
Yes.
They're going
I
to
did.
nuke Charleston Harbor.
Wow.
I
And
remember.
there were 4 nukes that came out of, I think, Fort Bliss, but I'm not really sure whether it was Offutt Air Base or Fort Bliss. And they were apparently taken out of stock by presidential order.
Look at here.
You
And
think they were mad about Fort
Look who's
Sumter?
here.
Yeah. Oh, there's
Pamela.
Pamela.
Pamela in the house. All right. Yeah.
So now, what were you saying in the ask Penny to ask Ginny what a Q clearance means?
Oh, I thought we were talking about the tunnels. Okay.
Jimmy Scott. Well, Jimmy Scott James is asking Penny to ask Jenny what Q clearance means.
oh, okay. Shall I answer? Should I
Yes,
give the
sure.
Okay, well, the president has a Q clearance, by the way. Q clearance is the highest civilian clearance you can have.
Wait. The guy that's in office now has one?
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
Whose idea was that?
Not his.
Are you sure they didn't just give him a coloring book and tell him here it is?
Maybe it's a big Q.
I think.
Oh,
There you go.
I thought you said cute clearance, which I have.
Q. A Q.
Yes, Tom has
That's highest
cute clearance. He is cleared to be cute.
And I value that. I value that right. I don't want them to take it away from
Maybe a clearance to quit.
Actually, she did quit, but did they tell you quit or be fired?
Huh?
Did they, Jenny? Did they tell you quit or be fired?
No.
What'd
No,
they say?
I was. Oh, that's a long story.
You were
but
kind of
I-
hinted in a direction or something at something.
Yeah, because I do read research, and I asked a couple of questions that were not comfortable for them. And I had to wait. The very first course I designed was Introduction to Radiation Detection and Monitoring. And I worked with a lieutenant commander who was a consultant at Los Alamos. And he and I we hit it off really well. And we designed the course in record time, and it was a big success. And it was, and so I really had a good relationship with him. And I was reading, there was an incident that happened called, I think it was 1989. I could be wrong on the date, but it was called the Palermo Senator incident. And what it was a Liberian registered freighter that the Coast Guard got a radiation hit on it 7 miles outside of New York Harbor. And it was a very calm, hot day when the Coast Guard decided to board that ship. And so they took most of the crew off, and they only had the captain and first mate. And they're up there, and it was one of those days when it's just airless, really hot and humid and just really slow ocean swells. And they're standing up there on the bridge looking out over this field of freight containers going, how in the world are we going to find radiation in all this? 1,000 freight containers,
Sounds like
and they're standing there going, what the heck are we, we got a radiation hit, but where the heck could it be? And so they were just looking out over this field of freight containers when all of a sudden they heard a vent slide open. And they're like, what? These are freight containers. How could a vent slide open? So they started looking for open vents. And the second row over and 6 containers down, they found the open vent. Mm-hmm. And so they got the entire crew over there with their rifles, and they busted 19 Saudis living in a luxury apartment in the freight container.
Wow.
And they were the reason they had a radiation hit was called an RTG, which is a radiative thermal generator. And it basically was being used for cooling. And it was a hot day, and the thing iced up, so that they had to slide a vent open so they could get their cooling back. And so these guys, they were busted. This was 2000. This was 2011. This is 9/11 in the making, and they busted them.
Oh, wow.
It was 19 Saudi terrorists.
You
and
said
so
a luxury apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Outfitted in a freight container. Big screen TV.
Nice.
And they had all the power they needed, And so, so they got busted.
So it was a terrorist pajama party.
Yes, everything in that swimming pond.
Yeah. So I got to thinking, well, okay, there has to be a way that they would be able to, there's a subatomic particle called a muon, and it's like an electron, only 200 times bigger. Mm-hmm. And they come from the sun. There's a constant stream of muons coming down from the sun. And they have cameras that can actually detect voids inside of very thick, containers or chambers. And they did imaging of the Great Pyramid at Tenochtitlan, right? With 3 cameras. And what they basically is, the muons come down in a flood, and the rock is so dense it deflects them. You know, as they hit molecules of rock, they get deflected a little bit. And these cameras are sensitive to ones that don't get deflected. And because of that, they were able to image all the passageways and the rooms inside of the pyramid. And so I had read that paper, and then I was thinking, well, you know, who better to do a muon void monitor than DOE? And so I started looking for research papers put out by DOE scientists, and apparently they were researching a muon portal gun that would be able to penetrate from stem to stern on a ship and figure out which row of freight containers might have a void. Because the thing they're scared about is that somebody will send a nuke in a freight container. And so that nuke is going to have lead shielding around it, but it's going to be a void inside of a freight container. And so if you know, freight containers are expensive and the shipping's expensive, so they're going to pack those containers as full as they can.
Sure.
And so it's really weird to have a void inside of one. They're not going to be shipping empty space unless you have to.
But Ginny, what if they stuff all those little packaged peanuts in it around the?
I don't think it would come. That doesn't look too dense, you know.
You know,
But they would pick up the lead shielding around the nuke.
Okay.
See, when I heard that they were hiding kids in those things in Walmart parking lots, you should see me like a freaking nut. I'm wheeling up to all of them, banging on them, going, "It's okay, kids. If you're in there, yell. I'll get you out."
Oh, that's kind of you. Actually,
people at Walmart.
Boy, there's so much to talk
crazy.
about. Do you guys remember Hurricane Dorian? It went up to Mar-a-Lago and stopped.
Yeah.
And it just backed off, and it hovered over Grand Bahama.
Important about that, Ginny, is that Trump had a Sharpie, and he said, "I don't think it's going to hit Mar-a-Lago.
That's right.
I think it's going to go this away."
Look at,
and then it did go this away, and I was like, "Shit! Did he just know that he has the HARP technology?"
Rid of that man.
He had a Sharpie, and they're like, "Oh, look, he's putting a Sharpie on the map." God,
Mar-a-Lago, let's run like hell. We'll go back the other way.
And he put the
Sharpie.
And
don't forget, you know,
direct hit Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, and all up and down the Florida coast, there are nuke plants, power plants.
So, Pamela.
Yeah.
Hi.
Sorry.
Hey, Pamela.
Oh, you're fine, Jay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
So, what about your Turkey underground experience?
Oh, well, there's a lot of caves and underground things in Turkey because of Paul's journey from Israel to Greece and to Rome. And you know, Ephesus is in Turkey. That's where I used to go to Girl Scout camp the whole time I lived in Turkey.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Was where Cleopatra lived in the later days or in the latter days.
What about the Hagia Sophia? And I guess that's a lot of the passages are through that Hagia Sophia temple.
You mean in Istanbul?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the Dolmabahce Palace. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things in Turkey, you know, that keeps coming up. And, you know, you mentioned the earthquake and all that. And so one other interesting thing is my dad worked at the American Embassy there in Ankara, because that's the capital. And we were very good friends with the Iranian ambassador to Turkey and his wife. And I actually have pictures of them on my Facebook. And that was when the Shah of Iran was in power. And they got called back into Iran overnight.
Wow.
We left there. That was the late 60s. So terrific people, though. Amazing people. That's, you know, Turkey's a very interesting place, though.
That's where Göbekli Tepe. You know, Göbekli Tepe was intentionally buried.
Who is that now? I'm not familiar with that.
That's fairly recent discovery. It's in Turkey. and it's a
One
huge
of our
250
go ahead.
acres. It's a 250 acre temple complex.
Right. One of the people that wrote into our show was saying that's where he researched. That's where the Tower of Babel took place at the Göbekli Tepe. I guess that's how you say it. Yeah,
Göbekli
I don't
Tepe.
even know how you say it right, but we know what we're talking about, right? So
Well,
it's supposed to be the oldest, like
13,000 years.
13,000 years, Ginny?
Yeah.
That's very old.
Yeah.
Have
And
you
it was
seen
intentionally buried.
in Turkey?
What was that?
I can't even say it.
Göbekli Tepe?
Darian Q in Turkey. DERINKUYU.
They were asking me that. Let's see. No, not that I remember, unless it's down where the whirling dervishes are. We would go down. There's a lot. I remember going in those caves and those underground tunnels, and they would have, because Turkey's a Muslim country, and they would have the faces scratched out because they were actually paintings. I saw the paintings, and I remember it. Like, we were out in this field and we were with my parents, so it wasn't like we were on a tour or anything. We had gone down to see the whirling dervishes down. That was just a thing that you did when you lived in Turkey. But now I hear that they're like, I don't know, Tom could probably fill us in on the whirling dervishes.
Aren't they Sufi? Aren't they Sufis?
Sufis? What does that mean?
The Sufism religion.
Oh,
the whirling dervishes.
Yeah, possibly. Supposedly they work themselves into a state of like nirvana, with their dancing and stuff. But we just went to watch them as a thing that that we'd always heard about them. So, but when I lived in Scotland, a lot of my Scottish friends would go to Turkey on vacation. Now, the last time I've been there was in 1995. So it's been a long time ago. And it's a little bit more dangerous for Americans to go into Turkey. But a lot of my Scottish friends would go there and go to the, it's where they'd go to the beach, to Spain or to Turkey.
Yeah.
I much prefer Greece.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
okay,
what
there's an entire underground city. Darian Q. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Oh, okay.
Darian Q is an entire underground city.
Oh,
okay. I'm going to look and see where it is. This is kind of bringing flashback to the 5th hour of the Awake Nation. Brenda.
Right? Everybody start Googling.
Google. Oh my goodness!
Scrambling to turn off the audio, and I couldn't find my my TV remote because I'm watching you guys on the big screen. I'm gonna look up.
Hey, we're on big screen.
So it's located in Cappadocia. It's notable for its large multi-level underground city, which is a major tourist attraction. The historical region of Cappadocia, where Derinku is situated, contains several historical underground cities carved out of a unique geological formation. They are not generally occupied. Over 200 underground cities, at least 2 levels deep, have been discovered in the area between Kayseri and Nevşehir. I don't know if I'm saying it right, with around 40 of those having at least 3 levels. The troglodyte cities in Derinku and Kaymakli are 2 of the best examples of underground dwellings. The geomorphology of the area lends itself to underground construction. The soil is generally dry, and the tough rock typical of the area is easy to work. The city contained food stores, kitchens, stalls, churches, wine and oil presses, ventilation shafts, wells, and a religious school. The Derinku underground city has at least 8 levels, constructed to a depth of 85 meters, which is 279 feet, and could have sheltered thousands of people.
I wonder how that did when they had those big earthquakes. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was just wondering about the earthquakes, if it affected them.
They did it because of the flooding. They were concerned about the flooding that was coming. They were told that the flooding would overrun everything. And so that's why they claim they dug the city.
I mean, that's pretty dang deep.
Yeah.
279 feet.
Yeah.
Of city,
Also,
yeah.
it was like this winter hit too. It was like freezing or something, they said, like just like freezing cold. And they would survive underground, that nobody would survive up above.
So the oldest written source about underground
Right.
structures is the writings of Xenophon in his Anabasis, circa 370 BCE. He writes that the people living in Anatolia had excavated their houses underground, living well in accommodations large enough for the family, domestic animals, and supplies of stored food. The first 2 floors of the Dereniku underground city had been dated to this early period from Byzantine times. It was known by Cappadocian
Right.
Greek inhabitants as Malokiopea. Wow. Yeah.
That kind of jives with Graham Hancock's theory about like a comet hitting the North American ice sheet and causing the Younger Dryas aberration in weather pattern.
Yeah.
It was the they had a warm up going from the ice age, and all of a sudden it got reversed. And the sun disappeared for days because I guess this huge hot asteroid hit the ice sheet and made a bunch of steam and caused earthquakes all over the place and basically changed the weather really suddenly back to cold.
My phone agreed with you. Siri just said, mm-hmm.
I heard that.
That's freaky.
I was like, what? Who's that?
So
Is that
Tom,
a-
in the Matrix, with the information that you were given on the Matrix, was the underground city to protect from something coming? Is that what you wrote about?
Yes. And what's really funny, Susie, is that the underground city was the last holdout of free humanity, right? That's what I wrote.
Yeah, Zion.
That's right. And here's the weird thing. I put in it, and this was dumb, I put in it that you have a key device that the head could turn and it would detonate the tunnels when the squiddies came through. And the Wachowskis kept it. It was so stupid. They kept it where they kept the actual key turning to blow it. Now, in hindsight, I don't know, I was given to put that, but in hindsight, you wouldn't have that as your last resort. You'd have a couple different systems in place to protect yourself. But I actually had the key turning to blow the tunnel, and they kept the key turning to blow the tunnel. So yeah, but it was yeah.
But mostly weren't they using EMP to drive off the squiddies?
Yes, they had that. They had those different systems that were being involved also. And what's interesting is in the original work, the underground has the tunnelers, not the machine society. The tunnelers are a defense of the free people. And so they're the ones, that's why it didn't make sense. They made the tunnels, right? With tunnelers. And then the Wachowski switched that and gave it to because they thought it'd be cooler to have these huge tunnelers coming down. But you don't need the tunnelers if the tunnels are already there. You just send the squiddies in. So brainless. Yeah.
Well, everybody, we are starting to run out of time. Jenny, I want to thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Where can people find you?
I have a difficult email. It's Ms. Electromagnetic 777 at protonmail.com.
Wow.
Okay. And Pamela, thank you for coming. Where can everybody find you? Might as well throw you in there.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm mostly on Facebook, Pamela Davis Reeves.
And then we got Tom. What about you?
You can find me on Facebook right now. Twitter I'm blocked from, but you can find me on Facebook.
Still?
So yeah,
Congratulations.
Ever since I started talking about reclaiming the tech, the neuro enhancer Neuralink, he's not happy with me. So yeah.
You know you're doing something right when you get blocked from Twitter. And this Penny L.A. Shepherd. Go.
You can find me on The Awake Nation Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. or that's Central, or 9 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern time. And then you can also find me on The Dark Outpost. And The Dark Outpost is a subscription. It's darkoutpost.tv. It's $30 per year for some exceptional interviews and documentaries and intel that you're not going to find anywhere else. We have Susie Q on there with Hot Shot. She just did an episode today, and another Hot Shot is Tom Altos, who does the Dream Team. He also does that on the Awake Nation every other Friday. Susie's also on Awake Nation every other Friday. But Tom Altos, I encourage you to please go to David Zublik, his channel on Rumble. And Tom just dropped some intel that is gonna freak y'all out. It actually freaked me out a little bit. Towards the end of it, I said, David, if I get arrested, will you please get bail me out of jail? And he said, well, as long as I take PayPal pen, we're good.
Well, Brett's supposed to be working on the chat too to be collecting bail money for you there, Penny.
Bail money. Also, if you'd like to contribute to Suzanne Hutt, I can say it. She has rescue horses, and she has cows. We love the cows. We don't eat the cows, by the way. We love the cows. And then dogs. We have about 16 dogs, and I'm not sure how many are in the how many puppies we have. If you need a puppy,
I think there's 6. I think there's 6 puppies.
Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Yes, there are. And if you need a puppy, you can text my phone 619-779-9771. You can, if you want to contribute to Susie to help her out with the horses, the rescue horses, or the dogs, etc., you can email her. Her PayPal is bowarrowhorses@yahoo.com, or you can email me at Shepherd. That's Sheepard, SHEPARD. Sheepard. Shepherd Entertainment. It's only one P, guys. Shepherd Entertainment @gmail.com. And Tom, I forgot to ask, what is your is it your Cash App or your PayPal? If people want to, we need to tell them that you're going to be trying to do a documentary and a movie. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's at Reclaim Matrix is the PayPal at Reclaim Matrix. I think it is, right?
And can you tell them what the endeavor is?
Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to actually make the film the way it was originally right here. So we're going to make it the one that preceded Matrix. We're going to make it the way it was actually written, so people will finally understand what everything meant and all the coded stuff that's in there. So instead of the ripoff version, you'll have this. Now people won't be naming their kids Trinity or Neo anymore. They'll actually name them the actual name. So yeah.
And so tell us again what that PayPal is. It PayPal?
Yeah, it's PayPal. It's at Reclaim Matrix. Yeah.
Reclaim Matrix.
Reclaim Matrix. Yeah.
And then your website's going to be up pretty soon too, right?
Right. That's right. They wonderful, generous gal. She's Kelly has donated her site basically, and she's working on it right now. And that's something like Rock on America .tv or something. So I'll look for the actual one. But she's doing an incredible job, just making it really, really polished and the evidence up. So she's working on that with videos.
And can you update us a little bit on? Are you going to be meeting with Roseanne to?
Yes, she said she just had her 10th grandbaby. So I told her celebrate, and then she's going to have me up to do an interview at her place in the Texas Ranch. So we'll be going there, and she's also disseminating the information you had, including the one Congress candidate from Pennsylvania. She's sending it all to like different generals and colonels too. So it's definitely taking off. I'm glad David shared it on Rumble. So it's
yes, it was too important not to. He's also sharing Susie's episode today. And let me just see if I can find it so I can tell you everyone what the name of it is. So you go to David Zublik's channel on Rumble, and it's under the 3-letter congressman holding our nation hostage. There's an intro on it. So the whole thing is about an hour and 12 minutes. But if you go into 18 minutes, that's where the interview actually starts. And we're encouraging everybody to please, join the Dark Outpost. It's relatively inexpensive. It's $30 for a year. And you're going to be getting a lot of interviews and intel with people like Susie, and her episode is called Hot Shots. And Tom and I do an episode also on the Awake Nation. It's called The Dream Team, where we talk about, you know, how Hollywood, or as I refer to as the military industrial entertainment complex, which works synonymously hand in hand with the military industrial complex. And then Ginny SICOX is also our segment, is called The Dream Team. And then Ginny also is on every other Tuesday. And she educates the world on 5G. She's also a musicologist. Oh, stop it, Ginny. We love you so much. We love you so much.
Science topics.
And I loved your joke. I don't care if nobody else liked it. I did.
Oh, yeah, I did. It was fabulous. It was. You missed it, Pamela. You missed it.
Also, I was going to ask Pamela. Pamela, could you tell us a little bit what Christy's trying to do down there in Miami?
Not right now. That's all.
Yeah. Yes.
Is she? I mean, she's running. Isn't she running for office or something? Right.
She is running for the highest woman's position in the Republican Executive Committee, which is totally corrupt down there.
Yes. And what we can also, we'll get more information from her. She's on now in a new time slot on the Awake Nation. She's on every other Tuesday. She used to be on at 8:30 to 9. Now she's at 9 to 9:30, and she'll also be doing Dark Outpost with Banana Republic News. And also, I wanted to encourage people to join. I believe it's, hold on just a second. Is it Newsbreak or Daily Mail? Do you know?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I think it's Newsbreak. It's either Newsbreak or Daily.
Oh, okay, yeah. She has so many irons in the fire.
Yes, it's either Newsbreak or Daily Mail. Look for Banana Republic News and please follow her. So I believe it's on Newsbreak, but it could also be on Daily Mail. And we're going to be having her do episodes on the Dark Outpost for Banana Republic News. And then when she is feeling up to it, we're going to resume doing some shows on Patriots Perspective, and I'm going to help her out with that as an executive producer. And we're out of time.
We are winded. It's been a great show. Again, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you everybody in the chat. And we have got to call it quits because we are out of time. We will be back tomorrow night with Tommy Edwards and all of the interesting things he says. So we are going to get out of here, and remember, be kind to one another. Have a good night.
God bless everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye for now from Beyond the Box. Inside, outside, upside, downside, beyond the box. Please join us again for Beyond the Box, Friday and Saturday evenings from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Join us for more intel bombs with our extraordinary guests. Inside, outside, upside, downside, beyond the box.
Break it down.
Good night, Putin. Good night, Tucker